So, any more plans?
No more trips other than the December GoPro conference.
Okay. So you're going to hang out for a while.
Yeah, I'm going to be here for a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your favorite one?
What was my favorite one of the trips this year?
China?
To toss up between Guatemala and China. China was really a lot of fun because it was a women's retreat, so it was really cool.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Love you.
This is my favorite Kaiser moment. Remember this night?
I do.
Temple?
Yes, I do.
I mean, it's a dogfight. This is the biggest night in Temple history. It's in Philadelphia. Jaworski's there. Look at him. All of his friends. He's got the Temple Owls. They're ready for you guys. It's 20-17 late in the game.
Yes,
and what did Kelly call?
So Coach Kelly called it a run play that had an opportunity to be adjusted to a pass.
You went to 76 double go, didn't you?
I did.
20-17. Now, the difference is what coverage is it?
You got cloud coverage.
You got covered too. This play has no chance.
Yep.
Does it?
And that lets you put the ball high and outside.
That's what I'm saying. There. Look at this throw. I mean, that's unbelievable. You beat Temple against cover two. Come clean on this. Just tell me what happened on this.
Yeah, so it's called in a power play into the boundary. They end up giving us a look that we didn't like with a C4 situation backside, 4 guys on the left side of the center. We check out of it, and they check with us. And as a quarterback, that's a bad feeling when they check to another. You're trying to check into a new offense for the old defense.
Yep.
But with that, we were able to stay committed to it. We thought we were going to get man on the outside. They get cloud. I'm able to read that safety. That safety all day long was playing on that front side hash way too long. Put the ball high and outside. And guys like Will Fuller back home in his home city of Philly make big plays for us to win games.
Great thing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Power Hour. Y'all might be wondering, what in the world are we watching that for? Well, I've got a reason for it. For one, I was sitting in the office. I was chatting with Eddie, and we were talking about it. And I tell you, Eddie just needs to come by my office every day because inspiration happens every time we sit down, and he comes up with such great things and gets me thinking about things differently. And it's just wonderful to have, the whole team come together like that. It was awesome. But should we get everybody muted out there? But what that was for is that's what my goal for Power Hour is. We can talk about training all day long. You can draw X's and O's and all kinds of stuff on the board. What did Gruden do there? The coach sits down and he does a replay. So, and he sets it up first, talk about the dog fight that he's in with Temple and this, that, and the other in this game, and reset the stage so that the quarterback kid starts remembering everything that went down, shows the play, replays the play, and then breaks it down into individual parts. How did this go? What did you do? What was the original plan? And then it was going to break at the beginning because of this, and then you had to adjust and do all these types of things. That's what Power Hour is all about. It's to take the plan that we end with whenever there's a training, whenever there's a part of Power Hour that's a training portion of it, is so that you have what it is to go do. Then you have to go do it. You have to go play the game. Then what the other part of Power Hour is to come back after you played the game and review. Find out what worked, what didn't work, and do it in that context where you're reliving it. Because when you relive that, you'll feel it. You'll experience it. You're right back there in the play again. And so that's what I want this to be. That's what this is for, is to take what you guys are doing out there and then come back with it. And then we'll have a couple little tips, tricks, some ideas. You know how I do it. I weave it all together as we're going, or I'll have a couple of things I want to talk about. I got a page of things I want to weave in tonight. It's that sort of thing that gets us to be better. But here's one thing I will tell you all. You can watch as much tape. You can review as much film. You can look at the other team day in and day out over and over and over and over and over again. But if you don't show up on the field and actually throw the damn ball, not a thing is going to happen. Not a thing is going to happen. They're not just going to put marks in the score column for you if you're not doing the action. That's all there is to it. It's so easy I mean, the stuff that Gruden was talking about in that, you got 12 people, 11 people, 10, however many people running all over the place. Talking about this, very fast game. This is so simple what we do. So unbelievably simple that we have our little X's and O's too. We've got our simple X's and O's right there. Everything we need is in this nice little picture. You just draw this out for people. You can use this, just show it. You got to show up. The fuel that's in this dump truck is what makes it go round and round. Why you come to the factory. You drop your little pieces on that conveyor belt. You flip the light switch and you focus on them. You find out if they're serious when you hear the thing that they have an issue with, if they want to fix it. If they do, you pull the lever and it comes to me. If they don't, you pull the lever and we pollute the river behind. We do that work. Little green guy comes out, you're a jade, making $300 a month. Show those people that came on board that are doing this business, that are in there in the factory, show them how to do the same thing. Next thing that happens, you're a pearl. Then you're a sapphire. Then you're a ruby. Then you're an emerald. Then you're a diamond. All these things, the play, it's the same play. There's not 6 plays. There's not 20 plays. You don't have to put them on your wrist to know what to do. It's the same play. It's duplication. It's not about going out and say, hey, I got this new trick play. Let's try this. Let's do it this way. Well, this guy's their defense is a completely different defense. We got to make this a whole lot different. We need to do some other stuff. What do I do on this one? You do the same damn thing. The same play over and over again. If you are creative, that might be difficult. Be creative in your conversations, but it's the same play. If you got to do a little stutter step left and right, do what you got to do, but it's the same play. But if you aren't doing the work, doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. When you see our numbers surge, it's because people are doing the work. When you see flatline in your business, you're not doing the work. It's real easy to be objective about what's going on. If you're out doing the work and your numbers are going up, but they don't keep going up, then you've got a duplication problem. Your members aren't running the play. You might have the play down great. The rest of the people on your team don't have the play down. It ain't going to duplicate. If they're out running all these different plays in their games, not going to work. If they're not coming to the field, there's another reason why it's not working. But the play is bulletproof. It's unstoppable. You run that play 20 times, you're going to score 3 touchdowns. You're going to get 7 field goals. I just made that part up. That worked out pretty good. Those are your business partners and your customers, if y'all didn't catch my analogy. So if you're doing the work, but your team's not doing the work, then here's what you need to focus on. You need to focus on, why aren't they at the game? They don't want to win. It's easier to sit on the bench than it is to get down there and get dirty. They're afraid they're going to get injured. They're afraid they're going to get hurt. I don't know what they're afraid of, but their terrorist is keeping them off the field. The easiest thing to be able to knock their terrorist off of them, is to focus on their desire. Do you know all of your team's desires? I would hope that you've got a page of notes regarding their desires. If you do, you know what they're about. Because you're going to need to use that. It is extremely rare that you're going to come across another person who is going to be bulletproof from the terrorist. Everybody's terrorist gets a hold of them at some point. The people that crush it in this business are really good at getting rid of not only their terrorists first, but helping their team members and their leaders get rid of their terrorists as well. The way that you do that is you become aware of it and you make sure they're very crystal clear on their desire. Because that is the fuel. That's the thing and the only thing that's going to get somebody to move. Inertia in physics is a neat thing. This water bottle right now is experiencing inertia. See it moving? And it wants to keep moving unless acted upon by another force. What is that force? It's called gravity. Gravity has now won the battle. It's not moving anymore. So the only thing that's going to get somebody to move, because gravity is going to get a hold of them and hold them right where they're at, keep them nice and comfortable, sitting on the couch watching the Astros game. If you're wondering, that's where everybody's at right now. They could record that. They said, well, I'll record this instead. That's cool, man. I'm good either way. Here's the deal. It's simply a priority. Which one's higher? How bad do you want it? Those guys are getting paid $600,000 to $14 million a year. Was I watching the Astros games? Absolutely. I'd already prepared. I already got my notes ready to go. When it's time, I'm in here. I'm not in there watching the game. Why? Because $1 million a week is going to be more than those guys are making on TV right now. That's why. Has it always been that way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do well in corporate America. I'm pretty comfortable. We got some pretty good money that comes in. So you got to figure out what that why is. It's got to be the thing that'll overcome all the other stuff. It's the thing that's got to be able to allow a rocket ship to break the bounds of gravity and take off. How do you do that? With a heck of a lot of fuel and one hot ass fire. That's how a rocket ship goes. It doesn't just sit there and go, well, I really hope that rocket makes it. No, they got to blow some stuff up, catch things on fire, extinguish a lot of fuel to barely move that thing 6 inches. But once they get it going, it takes less to keep it moving. Here's what happens. People are doing the work. They're just doing it for 3 times. They run the play 3 times and they go, whew, man, whew, that's tough. I talked to 3 people today. Holy crap. I asked 3 people how they're doing it. Whew, I tell you what, I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got to get back to what I was doing. And then that little rocket ship goes, it stays right there. We as human beings are very good at making simple things extremely complex. Here's why we do that. That is a defense mechanism against our terrorists. We know when our terrorist is getting a hold of us. We just make excuses for it. We complicate matters. Our terrorist is invested in making this extremely complicated. Because if it's complicated, then you can come up with the excuse on why you weren't able to do it because it was complicated. I don't know how to drive this vehicle. Now, where I want to go, that's clear. Everybody knows where they want to go. Is where they want to go enough of a driver? You've said, everybody except Karen, because Karen just got back from everywhere. But you know you've said that you wanted to go somewhere, but you haven't gone there yet. You complicate, well, we got to figure out, airplanes and hotels and things like that. Yesterday, my wife and I, we started that process. I was tired of talking about us going on a trip. We're going to be going to Hawaii next year. When the little guy, the new guy that's going to be here in a couple weeks, when he's over 1, we're going to make a trip to Hawaii to Aulani, I think is what it's called. It's a Disney resort in Hawaii. Skylar Stephenson actually just got back from there. Some really cool pics. Carrie knew about it, and I'm looking at it and going, sweet, let's get this thing scooting. Because once I see that, man, I got a destination in mind. Now my brain starts kicking in. It's go time now. That wasn't always that way. It used to be, oh man, that'd be really nice to make it there someday. Anybody ever said those words? Someday I want to go to X, Y, and Z. And then we sit there with no movement And it just sits there, and the rocket ship never takes off to the destination. You've got to get good at breaking the inertia that causes it. When an object at rest, it tends to stay at rest. When an object's in motion, it tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by another force. When it's just sitting there, that's one thing. Here's what you got to do to light it. You got to take one step. You got to move that rocket 1 inch. And when you move it one, then you can move it another. And then you move it a foot. And then you move it thousands and thousands and thousands of miles through space. The hardest part is getting it to just move a little bit. When you do that, don't turn off the rocket. Keep going with that. Keep increasing that. Keep having conversations. Identify where you want to go and break the habit of saying someday, saying tomorrow. You've got somebody that y'all been thinking about that you were going to reach out to. And then what do you know? You got busy. What were you busy doing? Pretty damn good chance you were busy reacting to something else that you had to do. You prioritized and chose that other thing was a bigger priority. I got a buddy at work, good friend, Bo Wheelis. I'm going to call him out. He'll never watch this. I can guarantee it. So, Bo, if you ever look at this thing, I'm going to buy you something nice. He is so stinking busy being busy with every little thing and says that he can't go do the other thing. And the next moment he'll get a phone call and somehow he's magically able to deal with that phone call and then the next phone call and then the next phone call instead of not answering the phone and finishing what he was doing. He is addicted to the reaction. He is completely reactive. He is not able to go do what he wants to do. He's obviously okay with this or he would change. How is he going to change? He has to desire to change. I pointed this out to him. I mean, imagine being my friend at work. That's probably not an easy thing to be. Because I am relentless. I mean, I am utterly an ass. They obviously enjoy it or they would stop going to lunch with me. So it's not a lack of information. Information, it's easy. Here's the deal. I'll give you an example of the biggest one that people fight with, losing weight. It's not for a lack of information on how to lose weight. It's real easy. Eat less, move more. That's one theory. There's a lot of other ones out there, but that one will get you a pretty good distance. So it's not the information. It's taking the action. We overcomplicate. Man, if I only knew how to lose some weight, oh man, I could do so much better if I just knew. Goodness, I hope somebody shows up to teach me. No, that's not it. We overcomplicate it. We give ourselves an excuse. We give ourselves an out. By complicating it, we can simply go out and say, we're invested in that because that gives us the excuse to continue to be lazy and not make it a specific thing that we want to achieve. If you think it's complicated, you can hide from it. Oh, that's too difficult to figure out. I can't do that. Figure it out. I got a picture of it. It's not any, it's can't get any easier than that. You say hi, see how they're doing. They're going to complain about something. You ask them if they want to fix it. If they do, you know a guy. They talk to him or they don't. Then go do that again. Do it 20 times. 3 people join your business. You're a jade. Teach those 3 people to do the same thing. They're a jade. Now you're pearl. Teach their 9 people how to do that. They're all jades. Those 3 people are pearls. And now you're a sapphire and you got a car. I've shown you all the math. I've shown you how you can literally be diamond before the end of the year. You sure as heck can be sapphire. And that was going where you simply got through your 20 people in 6 weeks. 20 people, 6 weeks. You get 3 touchdowns if you play the game. So, Casey, if that's simple, then why aren't we doing it? You've got to be a builder. You've got to be a creator. You have got to put on that canvas above your workstation a movie, not a still shot, not a picture. It's got to be a movie. You have to design that. Some of you have gotten so beat up. Gravity has sucked your bones out of your body to the point where you won't even create your why. Can you focus long enough to design what you want to do with your life? Some of you have spent more time on what you had for dinner tonight than you had for designing your life. If you'll sit there and design that, then all you got to do is go out and ask somebody how they're doing and do those steps I just mentioned the last 3 times in a row. But if you haven't done that step and designed that movie that you play, that you're the lead character in, you got a lot of supporting cast that are in there also. But if you haven't done that, guess what? Rocket ship doesn't go nowhere. I mean, think about it. In the 50s and the 60s, you know what? Yeah, we don't have any computers. Yeah, we don't even know what a computer is. Yeah, sure, no. We're going to go to the moon. All right? We're going to put this capsule together. We're going to put a whole bunch of propane on the bottom and light it, and we're going to go up to the moon like a rocket. Yeah, it'll work. We'll figure it out. Holy crap. But everybody bought into it. Best movie ever. Real life. They go to the moon. Now, were there some explosions along the way? Did people die along the way? Absolutely. But they did it. You got to design where you want to go. I talk about the whole trip to Miami, picking Miami out of the blue, whatever that is. Focus on what your Miami is. See if you can literally time yourself. Get your phone. See if you can go 2 minutes, 60 seconds before your head hits the pillow tonight. Set your phone and literally go for 60 seconds. Speak out loud to yourself in the shower, restroom, closet, bed, out back. I don't care what you do. But just speak for 60 seconds in a row about what it is you desire. Start there. The next night, make it 2 minutes. Work your way up to 5 minutes. That's not easy because you haven't done it in a while. Some of y'all try to get on a bike. It would be entertaining for the rest of us because you haven't ridden that bike in a while. Everybody here, I bet, knows how to drive a bike at some point in their life, but if you haven't done it in a while, you're going to be like you were that first time, and you're just a little bit bigger now. Start with 1 minute, talking out loud on what you desire. Work your way up to 5 minutes. Your story's going to change too. You don't write it down and repeat the same thing unless that's what you truly desire and you got it nailed down to that. Let your mind go wherever. Build, create mentally on what you want. That's where it starts. And then build on it and build on it and build on it. You will be absolutely amazed at what's going to happen in your organization, what's going to happen with the impact that you have. And a lot of other aspects in your life are going to change as well by simply doing that. That's going to be the thing that starts this to take off. Y'all know what to do. I'm looking at the names on here. There's not a single one of y'all that haven't been to this thing a lot in the last year. Y'all have probably spent, like a couple college credits worth coming to see me on Mondays and Thursdays. Now, I'll be honest with you, the high grade in the class right now is like a C minus. There's been some unbelievable increases, but it's nothing on what y'all have got. You guys are playing small. String it together. String a couple of them together. Get some people, chat with them, plant some seeds, and keep the momentum going. It's not that hard. You're having conversations with other human beings. Now, if you're doing it because you're trying to get something out of it, it's very hard. Then you ain't running the play right. You're out there doing your own play. Don't do that. Run the same play like we were showing in that football game to get started. Bring me some new people. You want to see your business grow, bring me one new person. Bring them a power hour. Y'all are coming. I want y'all to know I love y'all for coming. I'll be honest with you, I'm getting sick of seeing the same one of y'all's. Y'all are great, but this thing wasn't designed for y'all to keep coming here forever. I mean, I enjoy this. Don't get me wrong. I get a lot out of it, and y'all do too, or y'all wouldn't keep coming. But bring some people. Bring some new people. Let them experience this awesomeness that y'all think is so good because y'all keep coming. And then let's make sure that they see this and they understand the simplicity of it. Next thing I want to talk about, associations. This will help too. If you're where you were a year ago, here's how you can easily identify why that's the case. Look at who you're hanging out with. Who do you spend the most time with? Now, there's some relationships, I'm not telling you to get rid of them at all. I'm telling you to expand your horizon so that you start interacting with some other people. If you're the best one in your group right now, you need a new group. It's the average of 5. If you're the top one in the group, guess what's happening to you? You're getting dragged down. Now, you want to reach down and help people up. Don't get me wrong. Be in a lot of different groups. But if you're the top one in all of your groups, you're not growing, I can guarantee you. Is that uncomfortable? It is for me. But do I desire the growth more? Absolutely. So who's in your circle? Here's another thing on that. If you notice, and be observant of this, the next time you're with your group, you know who your group is. If y'all are talking about the glory days, the past, and reliving the past every single time, that's not a group that is growing. If the group's talking about the future, planning, vision casting, talking about what's going to occur, and that's the predominant amount of the discussion, you got yourself a growth group. You're declining or you're increasing. Or maybe you're stagnant. And if you're stagnant and time is moving, I consider that you're declining. If time's moving, you want to be ahead of that time curve. So ask yourself some questions. Be objective. Who you hanging out with, and is it getting you where you need to be? If it's not, I'm not saying you got to cut these people off completely, but I am telling you that it is slowing you down. If you're more interested in being recognized than getting respect, this was a good one I heard, and I really like this one. Recognition, that's short term. Respect is long term. Recognition is when you hit a rank. Respect is when people are calling you up for your opinion, regardless of what your rank is. Make sure you're working towards that long term. Make sure you're looking for building it the right way in the long term. I'm all about taking shortcuts when available. I'm all about using technology to make things easier. I'm not saying that we need to pick up this boulder and run up the hill with it. I'm saying let's use the dump truck. All right, so I'm all about that. But make sure you're building your organization the right way. That's a cool thing. That's a very cool thing. I spoke with a couple of top people here this last week, had some good phone calls with some people, and got some great conversations going. They called me. It was wonderful. And it was some appreciation of how our organization's been built. Have we shot through and destroyed all these ranks just yet? Not yet. Is that getting ready to happen? Guaranteed. I can absolutely guarantee that. But with what we've already done, the way it's been built is it's been built with rebar, concrete. It ain't built on sand. This thing ain't moving. This has been built because we're focusing on helping the other person, helping getting the customers. And those customers is what this whole thing's all about. You can go get a lot of business partners. And if those business partners aren't getting customers, it's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. So the foundation that we built, awesome. That builds the respect. The recognition, let's go for both. I'm not an either or kind of guy. I want both. I want this whole organization to have that. Next thing I want to talk about, discouragement. Discouragement, anybody ever suffered from discouragement before? Like in the last 4 hours? Discouragement is the enemy. It's the antithesis of dreams, of our vision of what we want to be able to get to. The discouragement, I mean, the words itself, discourage, it gets rid of your courage. When you're discouraged, you don't go talk to the next person. Now, here's the other thing. If you do something long enough, you become repetition. You almost get numb to it. Looking at Rob, first thing that goes in my mind is him working out. First time he worked out, he got sore like everybody else. Does he still get sore? I'm pretty sure he does because he's still going for gains. Does he even consider that anymore? Is that anything? Does it discourage him? No. I go out, I lift some dumbbells right now. I'm going to be discouraged the next day because I'm not going to be able to use my pen to write and use my arms. It's going to be a discouraging thing. Now, if my desire is big enough, I'll go do it some more, and I'll do it some more, and I'll do it some more, and I'll get to a point where you're going to be sore every time. Here's how I am with that in this business is the no's. I get no's like everybody. I just go through a whole lot more. From last year, my little certificate says 47 sponsored business partners. How did I get that? I got that by going through a hell of a lot of people. Think of how many no's that 47 business partners comes with. That wasn't 50 conversations and I got 47. I'm pretty good, but my numbers aren't that. I just don't care. Does it irritate me still? Yes. Mainly because they're so damn stupid that they didn't get it. And then the next part that gets irritating is I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it to them. But here's the next thing. Right after I get done having those two thoughts and my pity party's over, I'm on the phone to the next one. I pull the lever, send them down the river, and I go to the dump truck and I say, let's go load this sucker up again. So when discouragement happens, and it's going to happen, you just got to get back in and do it again. Now, I put this together. I was pretty happy about this. Let me share this. This will weave this together. Jason, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thank you, sir. So, y'all have heard me talk about that: plan, do, review, adjust. So here was my epiphany. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday driving home. The plan is looking into the future. The do is the acting right now. The review is looking into the past. The adjust is coming up with a new plan for the future again. And we repeat that cycle. So the planning, that's looking ahead. What is it that you want to have? What is it that you desire? What is it that you're going to do? Do you know how to swing that club? Do you know how to run that football play? Do you know how to drive the car? You all know how to do that. You have a conversation. Y'all have all been in a training where you have done those steps. You have sent a text message to somebody and said, hello, how are you? They have replied. You have had a conversation with them. They have told you what's going on in their life. You identified one of the 4 things that we can fix. You asked them if you understood their issue. They said yes. You asked them if they wanted to fix it. They said yes. You have passed the ball to me. You knew a guy, and you've introduced me via a text message, an introductory text message. I have picked up the ball and ran it from there. Because y'all have all done that, you know how to do. You've got a plan. The part where it's breaking is doing enough of that. Living in the now. If you were at the regional last time in Houston, you would have heard Brian Pinso talk about the power of now. He put up pictures and he went through a slideshow of pictures, just still pictures. The first one was like a river stream or something like that. There was another one of the IRS, and then there was another one of a car wreck. And he went through the crowd, and each and every person there had a different thing that they felt, that they experienced, that they were thinking of. That was the past. And the point of the whole thing was it's so easy to be shown some set of pattern of things, and that gets you into your past when you're supposed to be in the now. When you're talking to somebody, you're not supposed to be in the future thinking about what you're going to say. You don't want to be in the past and reliving old powerful events. You need to be absolutely present when you're with that person and understand what they're saying. The connection, all the magic happens right there. If your terrorist has got a hold of you before you've sent the text message, or he gets a hold of you while you're chatting with them and he starts in on you, oh, they're not going to want to do this. What are you doing here? What if they say no? Da, 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 da. You never heard what they said. There's a time for looking to the future. There's a time for looking to the past. But there's also a time for acting right now. Make sure you do it in the right order. Have a plan. Review what you're going to do. Talk it over. Do a role play. Act like you're on the phone with them. Whenever everybody here's driving, still talk while you're driving. You got a huge audience on the road with you. It makes the trip go faster. It's entertaining for the other people on the freeway. They don't know if you got Bluetooth or not, so you're good these days. Do that a couple years ago, they put you someplace safe, but you're good now. So do that action. Then when it's over, make sure you're reviewing. You go into the recent past. You replay the game tape. You'll see things that you didn't see. You'll make observations that you didn't observe last time. You'll re-experience what you just did. Come to Power Hour and review what you just did. Share that with the group. Play it back in your brain. When you do that, I'm going to guide you through it so you don't take all night reliving the entire thing, but you hit the salient points. You'll then start focusing on what's the important stuff I need to be focusing on. What are the parts that I need to be remembering, paying attention to? You'll refine. That's why they go watch tape. And when you're doing that, it's so that you can learn, not so that you can go back and get beat up on, not so that you can look silly. It's like, oh my God, I fumbled the ball. Let's see it again. Oh, I fumbled again. Let's see it again. Fumbled again. It's not for that. It's so that you can get better for the next time that that situation arises and presents itself. You'll have a better idea what to do. That's when you look to the future. You go from the past to the future with a new plan. And then right after that, you go out and here's your plan step. And then you do it again. And then we're going to review that one. And we're going to adjust and come up with a new plan. Over and over. Same play, same play, same play. It's not complicated. But it's very easy to get discouraged right here. You did the action. You're reviewing. And right here is where discouragement shows up. It keeps you from reviewing, or it happens after the review when you're trying to adjust, you go, I don't even need to come up with a new plan. I'm out. I quit. Maybe not forever, but I'm out of the game. I'm going to turn off my rocket ship, turn off the boosters, and I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit. That discouragement is mean. And it's subtle, man. It is it just one little crack in the armor and it's there. It'll find you. It's the discouragement is like getting a little bitty pinprick of anesthesia that numbs your body. It's your protective mechanism. And that's when it goes in, and that's when your adversary goes in and rips out your heart. Just cuts it straight out. That's what discouragement will do. It's so subtle. But when it gets you and it numbs you, then you just don't care. When that's happening, I guarantee you, your desires are nowhere to be seen. They are in the far back, on the back burner. It's like somebody put them in the refrigerator and started cooling them off. It's not even on the stove. You got to have a way, because it's going to happen. If it hadn't happened, there's still time tonight that it's going to happen. And when it does, you got to be ready for it. You got to know that it's happening. It's another form of your terrorist coming in. Just puts a little bit, just a little bit, just to numb you down a little bit, and rips out your soul. And you become numb to it. This is the best I got. You fall out of action. Rocket ship, back to inertia. Gravity grabs a hold of it. And it sits there. Next thing you know, a couple weeks go by, a couple months. Oh, I'm not out. I'm just going to take a little break. I have never in 10 years had somebody tell me that they've come back and done anything. I was like, no, you're not. And I used to not say it. Now I do. I say, no, you're not. You're done. You can lie to yourself all you want, but you're done. You got to make sure that when that happens, you got to have mechanisms, dreams, belief. You got to have a support system. You got one here, by the way, if you haven't put that together. That's what Power Hour is really good for. Get you around that campfire. Maybe some of these little embers will catch your shoe on fire and you'll go running off and light the woods on fire. I'm good with that. Make sure you've got something to be able to support you and get you going. The easiest thing is that movie. If you'll make that movie so damn clear, that's when you see the super successful people in the world, it's impossible for their fire to go out. It is so crystal clear to them what they desire. I don't know if it's wiring. I don't know if it's the drugs in their system from the serotonin and I don't know what it is, but man, there is no freaking chance of quitting. Top of the mountain or dead on the side of it from trying. Those are the two options. That's it. If you don't have that nailed down yet, get it there. Now, if you're up and going up your mountain, cool, rock and roll. But if you feel like you're still at base camp, hopefully these things will help you get them off of base camp. Discouragement can be, I thought back to the Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, 28-3, they're down. How discouraging is that? It can be extremely discouraging. What makes that Super Bowl one of the greatest of all time was the fact of the situation that we all inherently understand this concept that when you're down 28-3, to come back from that, to be that discouraged, because there's not a human being on the planet that wouldn't be discouraged at some level. But what's so fascinating about it is that group of people got together and said, here's where we're going. We've got this amount of time to get it done. Going into past, reviewing all that, no, it was action time. It was future and it was now. The future goal, what we have been looking into the future, we've got 15 minutes left to get to that. We've got to overcome a 25-point deficit in the Super Bowl. And they did it. Once it got going, once the rocket ship took off, they had to get off of 3 first. Okay. It's really hard to see 25 points away. You got to look at the first 3 points, getting off 3 points, so that you even see some movement. So what did? They got in the huddle and they made it crystal clear what they were going to go do. And they put all the BS behind them and shut it down. We'll go review tape later. Right now, where are we going? Let's get it after it. And they took action, massive action. One of the greatest stories ever because of the level of discouragement and how far down they were. If that's where you're at, cool, man, you're ready for a story. But I guarantee you, unless you desire that story, unless you give yourself permission, because here's the deal. To get this thing, all you got to do is just create it here. If you let all the other nonsense come in, it destroys the video, the movie in your head. It's got to be crystal clear. The moment that little bastard shows up and starts telling you why it won't work while you're dreaming, that's why I'm telling you, start with 60 seconds, man. You get through 60 seconds of playing that video in your head on what it is and talking it out loud. I promise you he's going to show up or she's going to show up and start just anesthesia, discouragement over and again, straight here into your carotid artery so it gets everywhere fast. So what do? You got to work on that. You got to practice that. You got to do that 2-minute drill. You got to get that 2-minute drill going. Keep working on it. Just design it in your head. You don't have to draw. You don't have to know anything about software. You got to be able to use this thing to create it. If you'll start there, this whole rocket ship takes off. When the discouragement shows up, you got to feed it with your why. You got to shut that down and you need to feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. You got both of them. Feed the good one. If you feed the bad one, he's going to stick around. Wow, we sure do seem to have a lot of raccoons and bears coming around doing a lot of stuff. You know what? Stop leaving food outside for them. Cause and effect on that. Man, nothing ever seems to go right for me. Keep using that language. I bet you that stuff will keep on happening. I can't ever get a break. Not with that attitude. And y'all might think it's some like super crazy, profound thing that sabotages you. It's those little phrases. Those little phrases are just, you're done. It's just giving yourself an anesthesia shot day in and day out, man. And they're in the back, man. They're going in through your back. You don't even know they are. And they're just carving you up and just selling the organs. You don't even know what's happening. You just keep giving yourself the anesthesia shot. Be aware of it. Any of the discouraging thoughts, any of the discouraging feelings that you have, those will take you out of action. On the plan, do, review thing, the doing part, when you start looking into your past when you're supposed to be doing the doing part, it shuts you down. The doing part needs to be focused on the other person. That's flip that light switch. Focus on them. If that's hard to do, practice it some more. Get good at that. But the more action that you take, just get out there and do the work. The work. There's a time for planning. There's a time for dreaming. There's a time for doing work. Increase both. That means you got to decrease something else because y'all are busy. You know you're busy doing a lot of stuff that's not mattering. That's where you get the time from. You got to reprioritize it. But the activity, taking the action, will take you out of doubt. It will take you out of discouragement. It will take you out of your fear. It will shut the terrorist down. It will knock your past out of it. The only time that I believe it's good to relive the past is when you're looking at the game tape on finding out how you can be better moving forward. Do it to learn, not to beat yourself up. Don't relive it so that you can relive the pain. Look at it objectively, like Gruden and the quarterback were looking at it. Was it a good play or was it a bad play? You're going to look at both of them. Spend a lot of time on the good ones too, by the way. Oh, that wasn't good. Yeah, don't do that again. Now, let's focus on the good one. Break that down so that you know the model that you want to repeat. They say practice makes perfect. Incorrect statement. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you keep doing the action and you aren't doing the review, it's not good. Casey, I've tried everything. No, you've done the same thing over and over again. It ain't working. Here's the idea. Stop doing it that way. That ain't working. Well, I'm following your thing. Let's see if you are. Let's review. When you got that golf club behind you, you can't see it. You don't know what it is. You got to have somebody else taking a look at it. You got to have the tape. You got to have the video so that you can review the tape. You got to have a mirror up there so that you can look at it and observe it and see it. It's like, wow, I thought it was way over here, but oh man, that's not even close. You had a picture in your head, did not match reality. We overcomplicated it. Any questions about anything I've shared today or any question about anything else? Good stuff? Cool. Excellent. So here's what I request. Bring somebody else with you on Monday. Okay, see, I don't have anybody. Start there. Take action. Do the work. If you want the better physique, you're going to have to go do the work. You want more money? You got to go do the work. You want more impact? You got to go do the work. You want better health? You got to go do the work. Now, here's the cool thing. We've leveraged ourselves into something that the work part of this, holy smokes. This work is easy work. It really is. We are overcomplicating it. So do the action. So your game plan, run the play, keep running the same play, bring me examples on Monday. I need game tape. Okay? I want everybody to bring me at least one person and one play that they ran on Monday. We've got 14 people on here. I want 30 on Monday. That means y'all got to bring one. They better be a damn business partner. And don't say that that can't be done. You just need to go do the play enough times. The play works. Keep running it. Okay? All right. I'm out of notes. Oh, no. I got one more. Highlighted off to the right. Sweet. Perfect on time. Apex Warriors. I want to talk about that. That is a nonprofit organization. I sit on the board of this organization. It's a 501c. Its mission is to impact people's lives. Each month, we have a mission that we work towards. The goal of that mission is to raise money for that cause. This month, we have a cause called Uplift Bras. $10 to this organization causes 100 bras to be shipped to a disadvantaged community typically third world areas, typically tropical areas where they got some issues with humidity. And I'll let you guys look up the website to figure out why that's a deal. I won't get into all of that, but it's a thing. It's a big thing. With this being October, we figured it was appropriate for that. Maybe you've seen some videos. Maybe you've seen some videos with me wearing a bra and you're like, he's done lost his mind. If you haven't seen that, it is entertaining. Go take a look at my Facebook page and you'll be able to see what it's all about. It has the link to the organization that we're supporting, and the way that we support them is through Apex Warriors. Now, Apex Warriors started off as a male-only organization. We have changed that. It is open to everybody. So the organization, we do keep up between men and women. We're working on what we're going to call it right now. We've got Apex Warriors. You also hear Apex Queens. We're working on the naming of that so that it fits well. But you've got your men group, you got your women group, but they're all weaved together. But what we're wanting to do this for is mainly so that we kick the guys' butts into gear, because the women are always going to beat the guys. That's just what happens. So we want to give you guys the credit for that, and then that's going to fire up the guys for competition to be able to get them to go out and do more. So the way this works is you can be a warrior in the organization by donating $10 a month. That's it. $10. Anybody drink bottled water? This thing's like, from the grocery store, it's like $2. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I just want to put it in scale. You go out tomorrow, it's Friday, you go to happy hour, you have one whiskey anywhere, even crappy whiskey, it's going to be $10. All right? Lunch, whatever. Figure out $10. Help us in this organization, and let's support some amazing causes. We finished off the well in Tanzania 2 months ago with this organization. Last month, we donated to the Navy SEAL Foundation. This month, we're doing the Uplift Bras. Next month, there's an organization that I kind of pushed this one through. Lady in the organization, she's got her own nonprofit for warriors, for true warriors, for veterans. And we're literally building a veterans village on the south side of town here in Houston. 100 acres that we're buying with that organization. When we do this business, we make a whole lot of money in this business so that we can go out and bless a whole lot of people. I would highly, highly, highly recommend and encourage you and appreciate it if you would donate to this organization. I'm that passionate about it. So the $10, where it goes, what do we do with it? So that goes into a pile. That pile is then donated and pushed towards the mission that we're accomplishing that month. At least 90% of that is going there. The other 10% is to recoup the cost for it. I sit on the board. There's nothing coming from a monetary perspective. It's just to help offset the cost for what's gone into putting this thing together. And it has been quite a bit of money that's gone into setting this stuff, this whole thing up. Well over $50,000 has already been invested to be able to put this together. This is not a small little thing that we're doing. Our goal on this thing is to be probably in the top 1% of all charitable giving by the end of the year, and then to absolutely take that over and hit the number one spot. I'm not joking about that. And the people that are on this thing and the visionaries that are on it, we're going to hit it. The way we're going to hit it is we're going to reach out to the people and we're going to encourage them, influence them, twist their arm, whatever we got to do. But we want your support on this thing because we will absolutely change the world. Not talking about it, going and doing it. And that's what this organization is all about. So how do we do this? What we have is we go out and we recruit other people, okay? Just like we do in Kyani. The difference is there's no money that comes to it. This is solely recruiting people to be able to bring that together. And it's for bragging rights. And then the competition portion of it kicks in where I want to have a bigger army of support than the next guy. So the way that's done is if you sponsor people, I've sponsored 14 people so far into this organization. And then those people are going to go out and they're going to talk to people. And it's just like in Kyani where everything rolls up. That's how they tell how big your group is based on the volume that's going through your organization. It's very cool. Very, very clever way of doing it in the way that we've never seen before. And all of the nonprofit organizations that we had talked to get this thing set up, and actually we have a group that this is what they do, is set these up so that we can go through, and they're the experts in it. They were just absolutely blown away by this. They said, no one's ever done it this way. So we truly are doing something different than's ever been seen so far, and that's pretty cool. You go get 10 people, $10 each. That's $100 in your organization. Those 10 people, go get 10 people. That's 100 people on the next level. And they all do $10. That's $1,000. Those 100 people, go get 10 people. Now you've got 1,000 people that put in $10. You got 10 grand. Now you're up to 11 grand in your organization. Do that one more time. It just, I mean, you can see how this thing starts to absolutely mushroom like crazy. 10 people that would like to be able to help and make a difference. So what do you got to do? The exact same process. You got to go talk to somebody. You need to find out if they might be interested in helping others. If so, you have a vehicle for them. And you know a guy. I'll talk to him. I'll be happy to talk to him. Explain this. You can send them the video. We got all the same concept. But it's doing it from a perspective of solely to be able to give back. And that's way cool. And that's what moves me. So if you want to be a part of that, men or women, and we've got some really cool stuff that we're doing on the women's side. We've got a whole different color scheme, whole different, the different ranks. We have ranks. You got warrior, you got gladiator, Trojan, and then we had different views for what that was on the men's side, where we've got the female version of all of these ranks as well. So that's a lot of work's going into that right now. So all that's coming here in just literally the next couple days. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that, you go to empatheticbadass.apexwarriors.org. Okay, or you can just go to my Facebook page, send me a message, whatever you want to do. I will get you the link on how you do that. $10 donation. Can you do more? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can put up in there as much as you want, and that'll also, can you buy your ranks in this thing? Yes, you can. That's absolutely cool. All right. So again, 501c, the documentation for that, all sitting with the IRS. We've given them everything we need. They came back around for a revision. We made all of those. Everything is with them. And they said that we will have our official final document for that before the end of the year. And so we're really excited about being able to have that too. It's unbelievable, the hoops that you have to jump through to be able to get that set up. But that's being done nonstop, and it's going to happen. And it's going to happen here in the next probably 60 days. All right, so if you got any questions about that, please reach out to me. I'd love it if you would join us in that. If you just want to make a donation, you want to do a one-time donation, love that. You can also make that on the website. So you can click to join as a warrior, or you can click just to make a one-time donation. I think you might even have the option if you want to make a recurrent. If you're going to do that, be a warrior. All right? No requirements, no nothing at all. You get a website. You get to pick yours. I picked Empathetic Badass because Linda said it and I stole it from her. And but you get to pick that, and that's all there is. It's super, super simple, and for a good cause. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all listening to me, holding y'all hostage while I did that, but that's okay. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Bring somebody on Monday. Make sure you go out and get some action going, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thanks for being here. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Casey.
Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Good seeing you, Kyle.